And the engines, you can count on to turn it around. When you need them the most, they'll always be there.
Dark and grey, we'll be there to help you bring the sunshine. On the days when the rain is heavy, we'll be there to keep you nice and dry. Even if we ride on different rails, or drive on roads, or hoist our sails, no matter where you are, we'll always be there. We'll always be there. We'll always be there. Forever on the rails we ride, forever steaming by your side. Forever steaming by your side. Even on the days when we disagree, we ground ourselves in one simple fact. No matter what we run on, or what provides us power, we all run on the same track.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I'm your host, Sir Stupid Jumping Out the Third at your service. Today we're going to be talking about the Cuckoo line. Now, a lot of you might think, what the hell is this? You know, it's something that you have to take seriously now, because the Cuckoo line is no ordinary line. However, it's not the actual railway line itself, it's the actual people that are naive to not work out from the actual reason. Right? The people that are on this line particularly, right, don't know what's right from wrong at the moment. They think it's what the hell. Well, think about it. The Norfolk Railways gone cuckoo, haven't they? Which they have done. And they go on that line and they're thinking, what the hell, this is a load of BS, I think we'll put it to one side. A lot of intelligent people in Sheringham, Cromer, West Wanton, and Norwich, and Lowestoft, and Great Yarmouth, and then Kings Lynn, and then you've got Peterborough on top, and then it adds up and it goes on and on and on and on throughout the UK. Right? Most of the majority of the UK know it's real life. Right? Of what's going on with the Hatts and the Coopers and the Reed family, all of us in general. But what you don't get, the people that are completely cuckooed are normally people that don't fully understand what is unfolding in front of them, which is what makes the story harder on them and making them go on the cuckoo line. This is where the cuckoo line job is. I said the Norfolk Railway is on that cuckoo line, right? And they can't work out from right from wrong or whatever, and it adds up, and it really thinks, why? You know, when people look deeper, they realise shit, right? The facts, the truth, and the logic are all there, but the thing is, people make mistakes. This is why they go on the cuckoo line, because they can't rectify that mistake. Every time I jump in, or every time my steam team comes in, we try to rectify that problem and correct the problem and get them out of the way. It's like the management of the Norfolk Railway. They're already on the cuckoo line from 2016, 2019, right up to now, they're still going on that cuckoo line. This very day, what are they doing? Right? Let's give you an example. A Facebook page, which I really don't like, and I really would say this out of kindness and out of respect for all the community that say, oh, 25%, grab, grab, grab. People are cuckooed. Why? Think about it. If they go cuckoo, that means they grab for what? Nothing. Because they're not gaining anything. They're losing. And when people go cuckoo like that, they tend to, they go on this line and the management gone cuckoo, the people that grab and see what they got and they think they got, oh, that's good, grab it, grab it, grab it. Okay, I know that a lot of you out there are naive to think, come on, use your intelligence. You know, when you use intelligence, you're off the cuckoo line. Right? There's two separate lines for this. There's the cuckoo line and you've got the intelligent line. Most of the people are like, or some of the people are cuckooed because they can't work out the math of what I already stated before in my previous podcasts about mileage, distance, and money. Travel, obviously. When you travel on that's not the problem. It's the money and the distance. Right? Repeating it again, it's like making me go say, look, I'm not cuckoo, I'm just putting the facts in front of you. Right? The cuckoo people, or the cuckoo line people, are like saying, yeah, well, we'll look at it. When people say, you got this problem, because you're not using your intelligence. Your intelligence is what makes you strong in this community. A lot of people don't realise that. Let me give you an example, right? In the 1960s, between the 1980s and 90s, people thought they were going cuckoo, when it wasn't cuckoo. It was the actual intelligence that was overbeating the people that are clever enough to override a little bit, right? When you achieve something in school, as example, let's just take the railway out of the way from it. Let's deal with schools and colleges, right? All the students are learning everything from the bottom up, right? It's like a learning curve, but you have to override the cuckoo line as well. So you've got to be intelligent enough to understand both sides of the coin. You can't have one side of coin or you'll be on cuckoo land. Right? I've been on both sides of those coins and I stick to it. Right? I know both sides of the coin without realizing what has been unfolding in front of you and making you self-aware, making sort of updating your brains up here, saying, look, the cuckoo line only exists because the intelligent people have worked forward like you did, but they used their intelligence to overcome the actual cuckoo line itself. Right? So what do you do with intelligence against the cuckoos? Right? A lot of people in school and college learn everything from A, B, C, D, E, F, G, going up the ladder, right? Their math, their art, their science, the history, the geography, all of it, right? The schools are not teaching you reverse psychology. This is what makes you see double-sided, so you don't end up coming out cuckoo on the other. If they're only teaching you one side, that means you're actually going to end up cuckoo. Because you end up saying, oh, I don't believe that because that's fiction. Or I believe that because that's reality. Because it's fact and it's logic and it's truth. Like my friend from America stated so many times. And when he quoted, there's a lot of facts, a lot of truth, and there's a lot of logic to this. Right? So when people are learning this in school, colleges, you used to be learning about the railways and everything else. Have you seen that happen? No. Why? because they took that bit out. 30-year gap. Ding, ding. So the schools, the colleges, and the government fuck you all up. That's why they screwed everybody up. So they put you on the cuckoo line. So when you've got an intelligent person going through school, college, and everything else, using the same method as you, but then they double it because they have to work with their intelligence. Intelligence is what gives us our grades, our potential, our strengths, our weaknesses, everything all on a plate. In every angle. So what happens when it unfolds in front of you? Right, people in Scotland should know this. Why? Because they look south to get their north. Ding, ding. Why? When you're in England, you can look north all the time, right? Right? When you're in Norfolk / Sodor, you can see both sides. Without realising that, what? You don't have to look north all the time. Because you've got the advantage to look south as well. And realise that's your north. Because when you look around the globe, everybody takes the globe for granted, right? I think this is the thing I don't often show people these days, right? There's a logic in all of this. The reason I'm taking you all off the cuckoo land, or cuckoo line as they call it, and tell you this is reality of what you're seeing is what you're getting, right? So let me explain this in a better detail, because a lot of people may not see it directly, and I said, yeah, it's fact, it's truth, and it's logic, and I cannot ignore it like it was yesterday, obviously. I'm going to do this in a very special way just to get you off your hooks, right? As you know, when we look at the Earth, we have the equator, the Earth, and the background, right? A lot of people will look at this and they will look back at this and realise you're not cuckoo, you just need guidance. Right, I'm taking you off that bloody cuckoo line. Right, I'm telling you everything that I learnt is through learning history and value of maths and science. It's not just a breakthrough, it's an enormous breakthrough. Right, I'm taking you all off that cuckoo line so you don't be naive and then you be intelligent or somewhere in between the naive and the intelligence. So you're not stumped in the naive department saying lack of judgment, lack of call, realising it. Get real, as they say in layman terms, right? Right, I'm going to share this as a screen because a lot of people, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put in Google Earth because what I need, thank you very much. Right, as you know, this is your Earth that you all know and love, as you understand. Right, a lot of you don't realise when you look north, you don't see the opposite direction of reverse psychology, which is true. The cuckoo line is no cuckoo line. It's just pure logic, right? A lot of people don't use common sense to realise what's wrong with this little picture. Well, let me explain this in a bigger way, because there's a lot of ways around this, right? You've got the United Kingdom here, you've got Africa here, you've got Ireland here as well, obviously. And then you've got the rest of Europe, as you know, right? Now, when we all look downwards, down here, as you know, coming down into Australia and all of that, right? Right? Throughout the timeline and time stream and everything else, as the Earth rotates this way, going west, from the east, right? You have to be realistic. Okay, somewhere around here, it's the day and new day, old and new, basically. And what happens is, in this equator, you've got to understand, right, you've got half going across, and then you got going one from the north to the south. Now this is where it will throw everybody off. Why? Why? It's the old day here, new day here. Think about it. There's a line here that you're not aware of, which converts one day, like let's say the 2nd of December 2024, and there'll be another one with the 3rd of the 12th 2024. So it adds up what I mean, right? So, and then people start asking, why do we have the advantage of knowing what the earth does for us? I think a lot of people just don't realise by looking at it from our angle or from north all the time, right? Right, we completely forget about the value of what is in front of us. When we look at all of this globe, we don't often think, what's the catch? Right? When I say North Pole and South Pole, usually this is where that will also flip you up. North Pole, which you want, donk donk. Right? This is where the North Pole would have been, right? Right here on the scale, right? I'm just gonna move forward for it. Right? A lot of people don't realise this is where the North is. Right? But without realising, I'm gonna end up saying, what? Yeah, well, I'm looking at it from a little bit of an angle wise you're not seeing. Right? People don't realise where's the South Pole. Now, I'm gonna add that in. Why? This is why I said it's not about the value of money on this, it's about understanding the value of South Pole and North Pole. Right? Because a lot of people don't realise what they're dealing with. Right? It's the actual root course. Look, there's the South Pole, but look where it's going. You see, people don't realise. By going round the other way, it's like saying, yeah, well, South Pole and the North Pole are basically, if you look at it from this, it's really, really odd. As you can see, I'm gone from the actual, from the north and the south direction. But sometimes you might end up with an equation that you may ask. I said it's on the bottom of the earth. Yes, South Pole is. But if you go through the opposite direction, which it is, ding, 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 see where the chicken and the egg is? Why I said the South Pole and the North Pole are basically polar opposites from each other. When I say polar opposites, I said there's the North Pole right there. So if you want to know where the hell the North Pole, I said, yeah, it's not as easy as 1, 2, 3. But when you look at it and realise, right, see, there we go again, and it takes you right at the top here. But as you can see, there is no ice on the North Pole. So where does that lead you? You see, people are asking the very, very big question. If the North Pole is there, the South Pole is here. So realistically, if you really do your homework, and it really does, it gets you out of that woods a little bit. But when you really look down, now I'm going to just go back to my UK department, which is where I am based from. right? Right. As a lot of you understand, north is north, south is south, but they all link because it goes from one end to the other because it links back to where I already stated because you think okay you think you go cuckoo but you're not. You basically have learned reverse psychology. And this is where all the problem lies. I said, why do I know so much? Because I'm a Sotran, which is basically sort salt coat is what I need. As you know, salt coat comes from the Scotland area. This is where Sir Topham Hatt Senior lived. Look at what it's progressed to. But look where it's next door to. You see, people don't know everything because we look south. We look in a very odd, identical direction here. So, when I look down here and look the opposite direction, as I stated before, north and south got a lot to do with it. Right? Right, let me get myself in the big way. There you go. So now I'm looking south. So look. So with Orsted here and Oldsburg West here in Bluffs Cove area as well. Then it all adds up for me, but I understand a lot more than what people understand. I said, look, it's just pure logic. If the old railway system was in there, that would really back you all up a bit. I said, yeah. But the thing is, what you have to realise that a lot of these railway lines are saying, yeah, start using your brains a little bit here. A lot of people don't, but a lot of people don't think on their toes and realise, damn. Right? So, in the day, I said, look, in the day, you are basically seeing, what? Here we go. Why is he looking south? Well, if you don't put the north and the south together, you're going to end up, like I stated, in the day, our west, in my possession, is east. So it will be facing Peterborough area, or the diesel works as I call it. And then you ended up with the west side over here with the Augsburg West. So why do you think why I know so much? So then every time we have to go forward, we end up saying, yeah, well, why? I'm now going to face you north so you don't get into. This is not a cuckoo land job. So this is the way you look at it, obviously. But when we always get to the America's side, right? Obviously, being the obvious, I'm not being stupid. Plus, that you got Australia on top of that. I said, yeah. Where the hell? Right, then it's Australia, obviously. Because the Australians have to go through first. I said, yeah, well, let me just get myself sorted, punk. It's a very difficult bit of process. I said, yeah, people don't learn. When we always go through America, obviously, the United States of America, right? And then there's Africa, obviously. Right, here's the America department and Mexico and all the other areas. I said, yeah, well, look. Right, there we go. Let me just go this to the other way. Right, somewhere around here, as you can see, a lot of this is water. Why? when we get here, down to this little bit here, you're ending up being not so cuckoo red anymore like usual. But when I look south, I have to be polar opposites. So when we are here, before the new day is born and the new day the old day dies, there's a line here. There's a right. Let me give you another example of way of showing this out properly. I said there's a reason why I'm trying to explaining it to you why I look south as well as north. So I'm not cuckoo. I'm not meant, whatever people think. I said I look both directions all the time. I said there's people that don't know from their monkey's uncle half the time and they think they know it all. I said, no, you bloody don't. I said, no. Now who's talking when I'm dealing with it? I said, look, I will tell you and I'm pre-warning you. There's a line here, and you've got the equator here, obviously being hot and cold, and then you're obviously in the end of the day, you've got this bit of which you will call here, while you look north, obviously, right? People don't think. They don't realise what you've got until you lose it, obviously. Right? Overall, in this department here, the earth part that you don't see, right? This is what the Australians see. They see a lot of sea as much as the Americans can see it on the other way. I said they all caught up in this little middle of big patch of water, which not many people can see. Even if you look north, south, whatever, it vice versa is the same. Right? There's a line here that the scientists never pick up on because when everybody say you go cuckoo, right? Reverse psychology is another thing we're going to teach you here because I want you to learn. Reverse psychology is not normally taught in schools, but they should do. So then everybody's on the same pages as everybody else. So then we can just go forward without a problem. I said, why do you think I do this for free of charge? So I don't get paid because I'm already a Hat member of the family. So I know exactly where Sir Topham Hatt Sr. was coming from and he was moving forward with his family, which leads down to me. Think about it. Then it goes down to my son and all the others. Then they ended up not being cuckoo because they're not cuckoo, as example. Right? So you need to start realising there is a reason why. Let me give you another example so you actually see it from another optical way of seeing it. But that's just one way. But you have to get real as well. This is reality. So when I look north, this is the way you're looking at it, obviously. But I look at it from a different angle, right? So when we are TC, south and north are basically a little bit harsh, if you get my point. So when the Earth rotates, it basically there's a breaking point in the middle which you can't see because it's a day and a night, obviously. But as one day passes, the night comes in, then a new day comes in. Why? It comes from east to west, west to east, doesn't matter. It prioritizes on which way you're looking. Right? People think they've gone cuckoo. I said no. People haven't gone cuckoo. They just don't know the major facts behind it all. I said not everything evolves around railways these days, but the fact is you got to put yourselves on the line and say you're not cuckoo. You're just naive individuals that haven't learnt this. This is the value of what is on stake. I said, yeah, if you try and tell it properly by the other means of possible, I said you're ending up with this bloody problem, right? People saying the cuckoo line, right? It's not like the easiest way to say, look, no one is stupid. It's just the way the naive and the intelligent people do not always mix. Right, so when you're facing down on Earth like we should, I said I look south as well as north. So I can just say Ding ding, it's the same planet all the way round. The only difference is the way you look at it, isn't it? Let me give you another example, just to give you a prime example, which I know about time zones. It's the other way round, saying you're not cuckoo, right? Right. If I go to this, you're going to end up saying, what the hell? Right. Time zone map is what I need. Agreeable, yes. Right, hold on. Let me just get one. Right, now I'm just going to stop that screen for a moment and then present another one. I said no one's cuckoo, they just don't know the ins and the outs. Right. A lot of these people know this is already one big globe, but it's very difficult to know where you stand and where you're coming from, right? Can you see where this is? Normally, right, let me get myself out of there. Look, right. Over here, can you see what I'm talking about? It's a bit of logic here. Right? A lot of people say, what's the difference between plus and minus? Right? A lot of people say, oh, it's plus 12 hours ahead behind schedule. Or 12 years here. 11 to 12. Right? There's a smack in the middle where the day changes. So no one's put it all together and say, what shit, he's done this. I said, this is where we all live in the United Kingdom. And in the United States and America, they're going to look at this and they're going to start saying, why does the day change? Why? In the United Kingdom, we have what you would call Greenwich time, which is an arsehole time zone, which is obviously. Greenwich time zone does not work. The GMT 00 in the middle is not Greenwich time zone because it isn't. Because the United Kingdom actually has multiple time zones. Why? I want you to be realistic on this before you jump off a cliff and say, what? Yeah, because when I look both sides of the coin, right, people that look north go cuckoo, cuckoo, because they're not thinking straight first thing in the morning or afternoon or evening. I'm getting straight to the point. I said the North Pole and the South Pole are basically together, but you're not seeing it because it's above what you see in front of you on this time and date world clock job. This is all time zones, right? In the United Kingdom, there's a catch with the GMT, right? So it's a Greenwich time zone, which it isn't. In Norfolk, which is Sodor for me, right? We are part of the United States time zone. So we basically got Norfolk has the advantage with Cambridge and a little bit of Suffolk on top. But when the whole island has been put together, ding ding, we can all add up, right? I said to you, there's a border between everything with everything, right? As you know, a Norfolk border, which I have a copy of, may I add, I said to you, you're going to get stumped. Why? Because you got here where half a day finishes and a half a day changes. So when it all says, oh, we're not the only boom booms in the world, I said, where does the 0.00, or you know what I mean, like 12 o'clock in the morning changes? It does not happen in the United Kingdom, that's for starters. The main one always starts before and after. It's the part of the equator part that you cannot see because people don't realise it. And when they don't realise it, I said, even if you look North Pole or South Pole, they're basically the same. Because they've not been, a lot of scientists will not pick up and realise, okay, A lot of people can look south, some people can look north, and some like double-edged sword, as they call me, right? And that adds up everything you will to know. I said, get your heads out of the clouds, you lot. Sodor does exist, but it's done in a very unique way. I said the London time zone has its own time zone of its own. Norfolk has United States time zone. Why? Because we are -6 hours instead of the Greenwich time zone. Why? Because we don't follow by that time zone. We have to be -6 hours all the time. Every time it's -6 hours. Why? Because every time the clock goes forward or back, it's the same scenario. I said the -6 hours is what the Norfolk follows by. So wherever the United States follow, we follow by their time zone because we look south. Right? But we also look north for the Greenwich time zone. So when it all adds up with the time, you know what I mean? So when you look at the bottom here, you got all the minuses and the pluses, but then when you look south, it's reversed. So when everybody thinks, what? The UTC, which is where it is not, it's not the midpoint. It's the midpoint in the middle, but it isn't the day changer. The day changes automatically from one end of the earth to the other side of the earth. We just get caught in the middle because of the land. Then people say, oh, you're -6 hours, you're +6 hours. Right? When the Americans are not stupid, right, they look +6 hours for us. Right? But with Norfolk looking south as well, ding ding, we are Sodor, so we are -6 hours ahead with them. Why? Because that's what we are. Because sometimes it's -5, sometimes it's -4 to -3, depending on the actual where Sodor is going south. When we look south, we're already there because Norfolk is Sodor. So what happens is, so when the timeline changes or the time zone changes, right, you all see the pluses, and then you got the minuses on the left as you see it, right? You have to have the minuses on the other side as well and have the pluses on the other side as well. They have to be simultaneously. When we look south from Scotland, as they say, you have to get real and realise, okay, we're looking south, but the earth is still going west. So it's like going east, but it's west for us. So we end up saying, okay, you know, you have to look at the logic because it's one earth we're dealing with. So you have the equator in the middle, cut in half, and like the earth in half, but it isn't. What it's doing is telling you that one side of the earth goes north and the other side, the other people see it south. And when we meet up in the middle, then people start thinking, oh, they go cuckoo or they go on cuckoo line. Right? They're not cuckoo. It's just the way the earth that we look at. If we keep looking north together, right, they can't go any further because the North Pole and the South Pole are connected. But when you look at the earth and realise that the North Pole and the South Pole are nearly simultaneously connected, I said, look, right? Because there's a logic to this as well as these time zones. All reality, all accuracy, all checked, but Sodor / Norfolk has its own time zone by -6 hours. So why do you think everybody says it's -5 to 6? Because we are tied in with America. So what happens with all the people that say, oh, we lost 1 hour, we lost 2 hours, we lost 3 hours? I said, no, you're not. You're gaining it because you're plusing it as well. So when you look at time and clock and everything else, there's always a plus, a minus, and a 6. Why is there 6 all on the clock and it goes to 12? Think about it. Think about it logically, like you would do, and say, how does he know this lot? And the scientists didn't even pick it up at the first sight of trouble. I said every time zone is basically nearly, when it gets straight into after America, it goes back to Australia because there's a little bit of water in the middle saying, ding ding, wake up. There's reality to this. So when you look at, when America is gaining the hours, right? So that's plus an hour, right? They looking forward to get the minuses. So when they look forward, when we say plus 1 hour, plus 2 hour, plus 3 hour, plus 4 hour, plus 5 hours, it'd be 5 hours ahead for us. But then when you reverse it, they have to look forward the other way to say you gain whatever ever because they waiting for it because they gain an hour's sleep or gain an hour's that or minus that, whatever. It goes plus and minus all the way through the whole world because it's only one world that rotates around the clock. So when you see an Earth that rotates through the globe, as they say, I say to you, from a logical point of view, when the Earth rotates going west, 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 when you look at it from your own satellites, as example, no one's cuckoo. It's just the way we look at the way the accuracy is. It's the same Earth that rotates from east to west, but when people look south, it's west to east, right? So the east, it's like going east, east, but every time there's an equator, when you look rotatively, you'll actually say, what? Look, if you're in Scotland, it will go west, 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 right? When you're in Norfolk or London or anything or in Wales, you're looking east to get your west. So when you look west, right, it's like saying what? Yeah, your east is your west because it's when the clock goes forward east, it's going an hour, adding an hour. Why? Because you're every hour that we watch or clock or when the time moves forward in time, then you've got to work out, okay, the sun rises from the east, but it actually rises in the west. Then it sets in the east because the time is moving forward towards America. So that's why it's not minus the hour, it's plus an hour. Because when they're gaining the hour forward the opposite direction, there's the part of the equator you're not seeing where the day changes. Right? So when you got the old day to the new day, it's still going that way because when the Earth goes east, it's meeting up with its west. Because by the time it hits the smack in the middle job, which you can actually see on here, my ad, this bit here, can you see where the shadow parts are? Can you see where the shadow parts are? Where I just hit one area, right? That's where the day changes, right? When the whole world looks south or north, it hits that area for one reason. No one's cuckoo in any direction or shape or form. When people look in deeper and deeper and realise, why does the day change there and not smack in the middle with us in the United Kingdom? Ask yourself that bloody damn question, you lot. You're not naive. You're just not intelligent. People are intelligent to work this out. They will say, right, we believe that because we see it. Right, when the Earth goes east, right, people that are in the north, like Scotland or the northern part of America, they see it from both sides of a coin. So they're not bluffing, they're not joking, they're not even that. A scientist will pick up this and they get paid. I'm not. I'm giving you free information, and I said the Norfolk Railway are cuckoos. Why? Because they not worked it out and realised, oh shit. Why? When you get these 2 days, when you get this particular equator job, you're gonna work out, oh shit. That's where the day changes. Ding, ding. So when it all goes down in time, you can see when you get to the end of America, right? It says minus 10 hours to plus 14 hours. Work it out, you damn morons. It's telling you something. So what happens next? When the day changes, what happens? It doesn't matter which way you look at it, north or south. You're getting one globe. Right? You're not cuckoo, you're not mental, you're not insane. That's what the bloody NHS wanted. That's what the NSFT wants. I said, do your homework. If I'd done all of this for you, this is telling you the warning, the signs, and everything, and it's telling you there and then you got one equator in the middle, and then you got your north and your south. When people look south, they're still going west from the east because it's the same bloody planet that's going east. But when when Scotland looks the opposite direction, they why they seeing the east as the west because it's the opposite polar opposite directions. So when it goes down toward the shadow part of the day, ding ding, smack from old to new day. So it keeps going and going and going and going. Everybody thinks this is all cuckoo. I said, no, it isn't. Norfolk has 2 time zones. The Greenwich, and then it has its own time zone by minus 5 to 6 hours. That's on the clock. But that's not what I said. Why do you think I know so much? Because Sir Topham Senior worked it out, and he's not cuckoo. He's dead and buried. So is my grandfather, Sir Topham the first. Then my father, second. Then me, the third. Work it out. It's all genetic. So then people say, what shit? Why? When something tells you plus 13 hours minus 11, then you're going to say, that's where the day changes. Because it's the 13th hour of the clock that you're not realizing, oh crap, day changes by 1 hour apart. Just by 1 hour. Why do you think it's 0.00 in Greenwich time, right smack in the UTC? Why? Because it's Greenwich time zone combined with the American time zone minus 6 hours. Right? So it's actually combined straight in the middle. So they end up with the 0.00, but it isn't. It's 13 plus and 11 plus because one day it's going past every time. So when you get this shadow part, you're going to end up saying, shit, he's right. Regardless of which way you're looking at it, the day is always the same for the United Kingdom, but the hours between the North and the South Pole, you can know it's one whole planet up the top to get from the bottom to the top. So when you look at it deeper and deeper and deeper, you're gonna end up saying snap. Oh shit. Oh you're gonna end up realizing, yeah, well the Norfolk Railway doesn't know nothing. Compared to what I know, they don't know nothing. Right? The management said, right, you want Hero of the Rails on top of this? It's gonna be a bonus live stream today because I'm not going through all this realistic information and then tell the scientists to all grow up and realise why does he know so much? Why does he get this? And how does he know it? I said, do you ever learn? Time and date is one thing. The land and the day and the rails and the transport, the roads, all of it, all combined together. Why? There's always 1 hour difference plus 13 hours minus 11. Right? There's always one area that where the day changes by 1 hour difference because one's 13 hours ahead combined with all the 12 hours that we get during the whole world. Right? So everyone gets 12 hours, makes 24, but ding ding ding, Why is there a 13th hour on the world then? Use your common sense, because there's a realistic job around this while I'm doing all this research, and I'm thinking, why is there a 13th on the list? Right, then it goes back to +2 hours. Right, when it all goes down to plus 14 hours as well, makes it -10, then you're adding up saying there is either 4 hours or 3 hours difference between the day changes. Because when it goes smack in the middle for the United Kingdom, it ends up being saying 0.00. You lose about 3 or 4 hours. That's why the day changes. So while the Earth is still rotating east for the north, and the south people will see it go through the west, then it adds up. Then it real clicks. Why people see it from both sides of the coin? Because there's a half of this bloody world that doesn't get notified because our sleeping pattern has a 13 plus 13 and -11 hours plus with the 14 hours and -10. That's why it goes click. Then it goes into +12 hours. Then it goes to +11, +10, +9, +8, +7, and 6 going down right to R0. Right? But when you look, when the Earth goes east all the time, you're ending up saying, okay, why is it going minus hours then? Because the day changes, right? But then what you have to realise, that the Americans are saying you gain an hour. Why? Because they said by looking south, they're bloody dead white. Because when they look plus and we look minus going for that west, right? Think it's reversed as well. Because when you look south in the United Kingdom, it adds up with all the rest. So minus on the left with the pluses. So when it adds up, it goes like what? They gain an hour, right? But they also losing it. So there's a minus and a plus in place on both sides of the coin. So when you look south, you're basically getting from when you look at your east, it'd be our west. So they will be losing an hour like it would do. And then when you look at the American side, when we look at for our south, looking east from the opposite direction, which it goes into the American side, it's plus an hour. Because they got their pluses, they got their minuses, so we have 3. But when we're smack in the middle of UTC, you got a plus and a minus smack there. Why? Because when you look at the unknown day changer, that's what I call it, you got plus 14 hours, -10, plus 13, -11. Why? It all adds up. Why? One day an extra plus 14 hours and -10, right? And then there's another one that says plus 13, -11. When you realise that, right, okay, they have to make sense when it comes to the other end of the clock to make it plus 12 hours again. So somewhere down the line, there is a day changer that's longer than what you think. So when we sleep, or when we go to bed, or when we are working day or night, you will know there's always be a plus 13 to plus 13 and -11, or plus 14 -10. Always. And it ends up being like saying, why? Because people look south, a lot of people look north, and when we always meet in the middle, people think we go cuckoo and mental and all that. I said, no, we haven't. It's just because people look south to get the inland that they need, because if they keep going north, they end up being like, what the hell? There's nothing in the north besides the North Pole and the South Pole, which they both connected to a point. Right? Because there's a sea distance as well on top of that. It's like all about travel, distance, not always about the money issue. when it's in the land, when it's a railway land or railway or road, whatever, then you got pay money, travel and distance. So work it out. It's all reality and it's all fact. When you're looking at it, it's no joke whatsoever. So all the shadow part that you see on the left and the right of me on the screen, I'm telling you, that's where the day changes. Because they switch. So there's the equator in the middle that no one's picked up on. Then you've got an equator in the halfway point where it's hotter and cold, hot and cold. But there's one equator that you don't see from the north to the south or the south to the north, and it goes really like the same pole basically. And then it ends up being saying day change, but it takes one side of the planet a lot longer than the other side as it goes east or west, vice versa, depending if you're looking north or south. When people look at the other way round and look south, don't call them cuckoos for starters. They're just naive people that haven't learnt anything. So when they learn the value of it, they're going to start realising, oh shit. Right? So when it comes to Norfolk, we have 2 time zones instead of 1. Because we don't just focus by one time zone. Because we look south as well as much as the Scottish people do. So we have to look both ways. So we have the coordination of double-edged sword. So when people say we go cuckoo or leg on cuckoo or whatever, I said no, don't fucking bother because it's already there in black and white for you all to see. So remember, you have to got plus 13, plus 14, minus 11 and minus 10 on one part of the globe. Because that's where the day changes. So when the day comes in for us on the other end, on the east side, then it goes to plus 12, plus 11, and going right down to our part, then it doesn't add up because there's a lot more going on into the UTC. The Greenwich time zone is 2 time zones instead of 1 because there's always be a plus and a minus. And that's why they say it's 0.00. But when the day changes, that's a different equator of its own because that's going from what you see on the screen right now. If you look at it, if people look south, it's Lynn, the Americans minus that we always get. It becomes a plus an hour, plus 2 hour, plus 3 hour, plus 4 hour, 5, and going on and on and on. And then it all adds up. By the time it all adds up, then it goes, that's why one part of the day change comes from plus 14, plus minus 10, then plus 13, minus 4, 11. And it all adds up, and it keeps coordinating. There's a day change right there on black and white day line. If you don't believe me, check it out. Because I'm just showing it on the screen. I've been honest. No one's cuckoo, no one's mental, no one's insane. They just haven't learned reverse psychology. Why? Because you can look both sides of the coin without being naive or stupid or saying, oh, he's cuckoo or he's mental or he's got a different language. Yes, of course I've got a different language because I know where my origin started. So if you care to keep challenging me, saying, oh, you can't be serious, just look it up. You know, it's black and white, it's simple. I said the Norfolk Railways don't know jack shit from the monkey's uncle. Look at the management. Then they telling me, I was like, what the hell's going on? I could see what they cannot see. And that's the thing, the value about it. Why everything is shadowed in the areas that I've given you is because that's where the day changes mostly. But when you got a plus 13 and a minus 11, and then plus 14 and minus 10, what does that tell you? Wake up on that one. Because it adds up where the day changes. So when you get to the United Kingdom and you look south, just remember that the Norfolk has the Sodor time zone, which is basically minus 5 to -6 hours. That's how we know things a lot more quickly than normal. Why? Because we coordinate with America. Thank you very much in every angle.